Hi, I'm Angie, and you're watching Dante's Vaccinated.
The legend, the myth, the man himself, Andre Ward, was a guest on Max Boxing, and he addressed Canelo Alvarez and the maneuvering he have been doing over the years, co-signing us new media and everything we've been preaching over the years. Andre Ward addressed the fact that Canelo Alvarez is being a businessman, and he spoke the whole truth about the whole situation, which we're going to touch on in a little bit. And of course, everything that comes out of Andre Ward's mouth is gold, because he's a living example. He had that Ali in him. And what I mean by that, he fought everyone and never maneuvered or ducked any opponent. Matter of fact, he even went far and beyond to challenge himself and prove himself after he was already proven. However, of course, the critic has something else to say, so he wanted to shut all the critics. And after winning the Super 6 in a dominant fashion with one arm, because we all know he had a shoulder problem, after winning the Super 6 in a dominant fashion, he was trying to face Gennady Golovkin. HBO said absolutely not. You is not about to mess up the recipe we've been cooking for the past couple years. So he called Triple G, Little G, and then moved up to the light heavyweight division to face the crusher and one of the most feared fighters at the time that was knocking out everybody, Kovalev. Of course, this is not the same Kovalev that Canelo Alvarez fought. This was a different version, the prime version. And Andre Ward fought him the first time, beat him, took his straps in an impressive fashion, getting knocked down in the second round and getting up to win. And he found a way to win. Some people said it was close. Andre Ward ran it right back. And in the rematch, he knocked out the crusher. He was the crusher in the rematch. And he took it to Kovalev just like he did in the first fight. He adjusted during the fight. Something Canelo didn't do with Lara. Only Floyd Mayweather did. Whenever he had a close fight, Floyd Mayweather gave his opponent a rematch. So did Andre Ward. And obviously, Andre Ward retired right after that. And in my opinion, one of the main reasons he retired is because he didn't get his just due. Regardless of what he did, he was damned if he did or damned if he didn't. And what I mean by that, Teddy Atlas, he interviewed Terrence Crawford and Andre Ward right after Terrence Crawford became undisputed. And he told both of them, y'all not competing with yourselves. Y'all competing with Lomachenko, who has 7 fights and 1 loss at the time. And keep in mind, Andre Ward was coming off a knockout win against Kovalev, who was ranked as top 3 pound for pound on most rankings. And even after Andre Ward knocked out Kovalev, he still didn't get his just due. However, the media outlets that gave Andre Ward his just due is new media. We had him as pound for pound number 1 right after Floyd Mayweather retired, because of course he was ranked number 2 when Floyd Mayweather was fighting after Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. So it's a no-brainer that you're going to move him up to the number 1 slot as soon as Floyd Mayweather retired. But they didn't want to give Andre Ward his just due, and they made it do what it do. That's what they did to Floyd, Andre Ward, and all these fighters on the coincidental list. So that's why he retired, in my opinion. And y'all could thank Teddy Atlas for that. However, I say all of this just to lay out the facts, and that when Andre Ward speaks, people need to realize he is not a casual. His opinion matter because he's one of the GOATs. So when you bring your 2 cents to the table, it don't really make that much of a difference because your opinion don't matter. However, Andre Ward is bringing dollars to the table. And I don't have to tell you that. His resume could back it up. So we could speak of his legend all day, but let's just go ahead and get straight to the topic and the business at hand on what Andre Ward had to say about Canelo Alvarez co-signing new media, joining the list of the legendary fighters like Chavez Jr., Barrera, Morales, Oscar De La Hoya, who want Canelo Alvarez to face Charlo and the Andres of the world to no prevail. Now, Andre Ward actually checked Max when Max was trying to give Canelo a pass for avoiding Andre and Charlo. And Andre basically let it be known that Canelo have been doing a lot of maneuvering lately, aka cherry picking, if you want to call it that. That's the term y'all like to use nowadays. So that being said, Andre Ward just laid it out and basically said that Canelo fight prime fighters so far in between. In other words, every blue moon he will fight a prime fighter, or a fighter at least in his prime that the fans want him to face. Now, of course, Max Kellerman responded by defending Canelo, stating that, well, he fought Lara and Trout. However, poor Max, little did he know that he actually lost the argument so bad because he supported Andre Ward's point of view, and he supported it with facts by making that comment. Because Trout and Lara, Canelo fought them back in 2013 and 2014. Do y'all know what year we are in today? It's 2020, Max Kellerman. I think Andre Ward should have reminded Max Kellerman what year we in. And last time I checked, it had been 6 years since Canelo Alvarez faced a Lara and a Trout. And of course, Andre Ward came back with that pull counter and almost knocked out Max by stating the fact, which was both of them fights were close. And a lot of people had Lara beating Canelo, as did new media as well. And we all know Canelo did not run it back. He didn't have the cojones of Andre Ward to run it back. He didn't have the cojones of Floyd Mayweather to run it back when he had a close fight with Maidana or Castillo. However, they want to claim those guys beat Mayweather. But Mayweather ran it back, and we saw who got the best of who in the rematch. And I had Floyd Mayweather winning both of those fights when they fought the first time as well. But it's obvious, just like Floyd Mayweather came out and stated recently, whenever he fought, he had to fight against all odds. Against the critics, against the referee, against the judges, against the commentators, you name it. So with that being said, one thing for sure, Andre Ward stated straight facts. And that's the fact that Canelo did not run it back with Lara like he did with Kovalev. And it had been 6 years since then. And we all know Charlo and Andre been hunting him since then. And he haven't fought those guys either. He been maneuvering around them. He fought for Andre's belt at 154, the WBO belt. And peep this, because this is the best part. Canelo didn't even face Andre to win the WBO strap at 154. He faced Smith for it. And if you're wondering how is that possible, as soon as Andre vacated the belt after calling Canelo Alvarez puto or puta, if y'all know what that means, Canelo didn't respond to Andre. He avoided Andre, and as soon as Andre vacated the belt, Canelo fought Smith for that same strap at a catch weight at 155 at a Canelo weight. He made up his own weight division. He fought at that weight division for like a year or two. So I say all of this because he did the same thing to Jermell Charlo. Golden Boy had to give up Jermell Charlo because Canelo fought Strickland instead of facing Jermell Charlo, causing Golden Boy to lose Jermell Charlo to Al Heyman since they couldn't fulfill their part of the agreement. All because Canelo didn't want to face Jermell Charlo, who's from Texas, and he fought Kirkland in Texas instead. And we all know Kirkland was coming off a 1.5 year layoff, and he got knocked out a fight or two before that by a guy with 6 KOs. And this is not even the worst part, because he even requested a French fries belt and gave up his strap, the WBC strap, to Jermall Charlo, the big Charlo, at 160. He also didn't want to be undisputed to fight Andrade at 160. This is all took place last year. So for Max Kellerman to ignore all that shows the bias that Max Kellerman has for these fighters on the hope list, from Lomachenko to Canelo Alvarez. Of course, Lomachenko, they over here erasing his losses on ESPN. So that being said, facts is what matter at the end of the day, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And Andre Ward came with his facts and checked Max Kellerman. Because like I told y'all, yes, Canelo did face Gennady Golovkin, but he also got tested positive for taking Combuterol in the rematch. And keep in mind, he also gave up his strap after he beat Cotto, when Gennady Golovkin was supposedly the boogeyman, right? As soon as Gennady Golovkin had a question mark next to him after fighting Kell Brook and losing to Jacob, in my eyes, then Canelo grew the courage to fight Gennady Golovkin, right? And of course he fought Jacob. Jacob is a good fighter. However, let's all be honest. He's not an Andrade, he's not a Charlo, and he's not undefeated, because we all know Jacob had a loss as well. But that is still a good win. I think that's Canelo Alvarez's best win till this day, because he did not beat a Lara. The only guy he beat convincingly is Jacob. So like I said, is every blue moon he will fight a fighter from the coincidentalist that has rhythm, that could fight. It's so far in between. So Canelo Alvarez, in order to save his legacy, he has to face Charlo and Andrade and defeat them. If he don't, then he did not live up to his legacy. I guess Canelo forgot that he fought Angulo and Lopez, and they were Mexican. However, when it's a tough task, then he brings out the most ridiculous excuse out of his excuse book. Canelo Alvarez has a book called The Excuse Book. And at 175, let's not even talk about it. He fought Kovalev after Kovalev was one punch away from retirement. And I say that because Kovalev stated if he lost to Yard, he would have retired. And the trainer was telling Kovalev in the corner, if you get hit like that again, like you did in the 8th round, I'm stopping the fight. And Yard gassed out, and that's why he got stopped by a jab. He wasn't that badly hurt, but he was just that gassed out. He wasn't in the condition to go 12. He never been 12. So Canelo chose to fight that version of Kovalev 2 months after. He didn't even let Kovalev recover, and he had a rehydration clause. So we all know what Canelo Alvarez been doing over the years. He been having catch weights. He been taking advantage of fighters. Kovalev even came out and stated, if you thought I could have beaten Canelo, you don't know ish about boxing. So I'll say all of this because Canelo fans want to question Charlo and Andrade and say who they fought and this and that, forgetting that Canelo most likely fight Billy Joe Saunders next, or Murat, a fighter we never heard of. So who did Murat fight to earn a fight with Canelo? That's the $1 million question. Do y'all know Billy Joe Saunders fought on a YouTube undercard, his last fight, where he was losing before he got the KO? Who did Billy Joe Saunders beat? Or is it the fact that he failed the drug test like Canelo did? And that's something that will be written in history, and Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders could never erase. Is that what it is? Because they both have something in common, and that's they both avoided Andre. So I say all of this to point out the fact that Max Kellerman over the years always say Floyd Mayweather is strategic, Floyd Mayweather is a businessman, he the best businessman in boxing, when it's Canelo. Because we all know Floyd Mayweather is the biggest pay-per-view seller of all time. People hated Floyd. People claim he was born. Even though Floyd Mayweather liked to say, I never knew a 1.1 million or billion, dollar born, right? But what I say to that is, you think Floyd Mayweather sold all them pay-per-views because he was that big of a star? Of course that was the case. But it was more so he was fighting the best competition available. That's why he always sold on pay-per-view. Even when he was older and he was money made, he was no longer Pretty Boy Floyd, because Pretty Boy Floyd was calling out everybody. He was the boogeyman. Let's talk about Money May. He fought Mosley after he knocked out Margarito. He fought Ortiz after he beat undefeated Berto. He fought Marquez, and we all know what Marquez did to Pacquiao after 2-year layoff. And he fought Canelo Alvarez himself. Schooled him every single round when Canelo was 23 years old, entering his prime, and Floyd Mayweather was a grandpa, 36, 37 years old. He fought Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. But Max Kellerman and all these casual fans want to discredit Floyd, claiming Pacquiao was too old, Canelo was too young, when Pacquiao was younger than Floyd. When Canelo, if you reverse the roles, and it's Floyd Mayweather that's 23, he will knock out Canelo, especially if he was the bigger man, outweighing his opponent. However, Manny Pacquiao is still kicking ass to this day. Just beat a Keith Thurman, a man in his prime. But when Floyd Mayweather beat him, he's too old. However, when Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman at 40 or 41, they claiming that old Manny Pacquiao is back. So it's a no-brainer. In order to sell on pay-per-view, the interest has to be there. So the fight has to be a good fight, and the opponent has to be a legit opponent. And that's why Floyd Mayweather was the biggest star and sold the most. Canelo is a big star, no doubt. However, he's having a hard time selling, and his numbers is declining because, as we seen with the Zone, they not announcing his numbers. And I don't think it takes a genius to figure out why. The obvious reason is he's doing bad. His numbers is declining. His stardom is dying because he's too busy being a businessman, fighting Rocky Fielding and Kovalev and fighters that have 0 to no shot at beating him. Of course, his own fans is not going to be even interested to watch the fight because the anticipation is just not there. Now, Max Kellerman, do you want to know how to get the interest high for Canelo Alvarez? He needs to fight the fighters that the fans want him to fight, and that's a Charlo or an Andre. He needs to fight the fighters the critic are telling him to fight, like Floyd Mayweather did for years. When every time he had an interview with Brian Kinney will criticize Floyd Mayweather every single time and tell him that he's avoiding a single fighter, from Mosley to Baldomir, you name it. And what did Floyd Mayweather do every single time? He fought these same fighters. Brian Kinney was criticizing him and wanted him to fight, and he beat them and went right back to the show and received no credit. So my point is, that's how could Canelo Alvarez grow the interest and face the fighters that the fans want him to fight instead of cherry picking. And I haven't seen Max Kellerman criticize Canelo the way he criticized Floyd Mayweather for no reason. You could criticize Canelo because the critique is there. However, ironically, Max Kellerman will make up lies to criticize Mayweather when he knows the truth. And that's the worstest thing a person can do. Because if you are casual and you don't know no better, then that's your excuse. But if you claim you're an expert and you lie to yourself and lie to the public because maybe Mayweather destroyed HBO and you worked for HBO, then live up to the fact that y'all messed up the recipe and y'all let Floyd Mayweather go by hating on him instead of giving him his props. And that goes to Jim Lampley, Larry, and even Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman wasn't as bad, but you are who you hang with. And you will get influenced by those guys, as Max Kellerman did. He tried to live up to Jim Lampley after Jim Lampley retired. Or, as Mayweather wants to call it, he resigned. Which is another video for another day that I'm dropping after this video. However, I'm yet to see Max Kellerman have his Brian Kenny moments with Canelo Alvarez every time Canelo Alvarez came on Max on Boxing. That's why Max on Boxing is not hitting like it's supposed to, because people know the truth. And Max is an intelligent person. He could corner Canelo and get him to answer why he's not facing with my favorite Floyd Money Mayweather quote. And that's, I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than be loved for telling a lie. And that's the difference between me, Aki, and Max Kellerman. So like I said, everything I stated in this video is a fact. I'm speaking from my logic, not my emotion. Because everything I stated, y'all could Google it if y'all believe in Google, and y'all will see the facts come up. Y'all could go back and check out all the Kenny interviews with Floyd Money Mayweather, and check out the time slots and Floyd Mayweather resume when he fought those guys, and y'all will see the truth. With that being said, I also want to give Andre Ward a lot of props, because even though he's under a corporation, he still speaks his mind. He's a perfect role model in and out of the ring. And I must clarify this. The whole purpose of the new media movement is to give props where props is due. So, for example, Andre Ward, we're going to give him his credit because he earned it. Respect is earned, not given. So one thing we won't do is put Andre Ward and Canelo Alvarez at the same pedestal. That's what we won't do, because we put you where you put yourself in history. You shape your legacy. We won't shape it for you. So we not here to create confusion. We here to restore order and maintaining it. That's why we give credit to Floyd, because Floyd earned his credit. However, old media want to discredit Floyd, but they want to give Canelo Alvarez all the credit in the world, and Gennady Golovkin, aka exactly what Max Kellerman been doing over the years. So, with that being said, I appreciate every single one of my keys. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't. And listen to these decaf, aka dumbass casual fans / old media. Shout out to Dante for starting the new media wave. Of course, if you're a casual fan and you want to be a hardcore, all you have to do is attend the Aki University every Sunday live on Split Decision. It's a boxing debate / talk show. Join us, call in, tune in by clicking on the notification bell to get notified every time we post or go live on Split Decision. It's free to attend the Aki University. All you have to do is subscribe and click on that notification bell. That being said, follow my man Lunatoon for the funniest boxing memes in the description box below. Follow his IG and keep it a G. That's my bro Ski. Follow me too at Aki TV. Cop the Aki merch. Follow DBN at all social media and on all his YouTube channels. DBN Hotel coming soon, and to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV. Peace, and we out.